My parents took my bike and gave it to me sister saying she needed it more than you. I just smiled and said, all right. A week later, their car broke down and they begged me for a ride. I laughed and said, hope she's enjoying my bike. Their reaction was priceless. I was 19 living in a small town in Ohio. My bike was my everything. I bought it with my own money. Saved from working part-time at the local grocery store. It wasn't fancy, but it got me to work, school, and anywhere else I needed to go. My sister Emma was 17 and still in high school. She had a habit of getting what she wanted, often at my expense. One day, I came home to find my bike missing. I asked my parents about it. We gave it to Emma. My mom said, she needs it more than you. I was stunned, but I bought that bike. It's mine. My dad chimed in. You're older. You can manage without it. I felt betrayed but didn't argue. I just said, all right, and walked away. A week later, I was driving home from work when I saw my parents' car on the side of the road. I pulled over to see if they were okay. Our car broke down. My mom said, can you give us a ride home? I looked at them and said, hope Emma's enjoying my bike. Ma. Then I drove off later that evening. My mom called me apologizing for taking my bike. Without asking, she admitted they were wrong and offered to buy me a new one. I declined. It's not about the bike. It's about respect. From that day on, they treated me differently, realizing that favoritism has consequences after that. Roadside moment, things changed at home. The silence was heavy. Nobody really talked to me unless they had to. I didn't mind. I just kept to myself, went to work, came home, and stayed in my room. I was used to being the background person in my own family. But now the air was thick with tension. Emma didn't say anything either. She would ride my bike right in front of me without even blinking. Not even a thanks. That annoyed me more than the bike being taken. It was the disrespect. It was like I didn't matter. 2 weeks later, I got offered a full-time job at the shop, more hours, better pay. But I'd need to be on time every day, and buses in our town were unreliable. I needed transportation fasty. Didn't want to rely on my parents, especially after what happened. So I decided I'd start looking for a cheapest car. That's when the twist happened. My dad called me downstairs one night. He looked awkward, which wasn't like him. We're letting Emma take the car to school now. He said, you'll need to figure something else out for work. I just stared at him. She already has my bike. Now she gets the car too. She has early classes and after-school programs, he said, avoiding my eyes. You're an adult. You'll manage. I didn't say anything. Just nodded inside. Something cracked. Not broke. Just shifted. The next week, I found a beat-up but working car through a friend, paid for it in cash. It smelled like old socks and had duct tape on one of the windows. But it ran. Never told my family I bought it. I kept it parked at a friend's place a few blocks away and walked home like normal every night. Then one night I overheard Emma talking to my mom in the kitchen. I hate driving. The car, she said, it's so old and ugly. Why? Can't we get something better? You'll take what we give you. Mom replied, your brother doesn't even have a car. You should be grateful. I walked back upstairs and left. They thought I was still stranded. Perfect. One morning, Emma got a flat tire while driving to school. I was off work that day and my parents were in a panic. They had no backup car and Mom had a doctor's appointment across town. Emma was crying. My dad knocked on my door. We need your help. Please, can you give your mom a ride? Looked at him calm, as ever. Sorry, I don't have a car, remember. But maybe Emma can take the bus. The look on his face. Priceless. He didn't say anything. Just turned around and walked away. Later that day, I took a slow drive past them as they stood waiting at the bus stop. I waved. They didn't wave back. About a month passed. My parents started to catch on that I wasn't as stranded as they thought. They saw me come home once in a different hoodie, and my shoes weren't wet, despite it raining hard all day. I think they suspected something, but didn't ask, probably didn't want to admit. They were wrong. Then I got a text from my cousin Chloe, who lived in the next town. Over, "Hey, did you know Emma's been driving to my place after school? She's been skipping some classes." I stared at the message. For a while, Chloe wouldn't lie. She even sent me a photo of Emma's car parked near her house, time-stamped at 1:35 p.m. Em's school didn't end until 3. I didn't reply right away. I sat with that information. Then I printed the photo, just one, folded it neatly, and put it in an envelope, wrote for Dad on the front. I left it on his desk. The yelling started. The next evening I was upstairs playing music with my headphones on, but I could still hear my dad shouting something about skipping class, lying, disrespect, and being ungrateful. I didn't go. Downstairs an hour later, there was a knock on my door. It was my mom. She lied to us. She said her voice was softer than usual. We didn't know. I just nodded, didn't say anything. She's grounded. She added no car, no going out again. I nodded. I wasn't looking for revenge at this point. It wasn't about that. It was about the fact they were finally seeing her for who she really was, seeing me maybe for the first time. The next weekend, Dad came to me and said he wanted to talk. I figured he wanted to scold me for exposing Emma, but he surprised me. "You've been working hard." He said, "We didn't realize how much you've been handling on your own." I just looked at him. "We want to help you get a better car." He said, "Maybe co-sign something newer, more reliable." I could tell it was hard for him to say. He was proud, stubborn, but in his own awkward way, he was trying his mild just a little. "I already have a car." He blinked. "What been driving it for?" "Weeks, parked it at Dylan's house." He didn't say anything for a while, then he just nodded slowly and left the room. The calm didn't last. A few days later, Emma started acting sweet, like weirdly sweet. She offered to make dinner, asked if I needed help with anything, even complimented my shirt. I was suspicious. Then I found out she'd applied for the same job I had at the grocery store. I asked my manager about it. He laughed. She said she wanted to help out around the house more, but it felt off. Seemed like she was trying to one-up you. That was her game, always playing the favorite, always trying to win attention. But this time, she was playing with the wrong set of rules. I didn't confront her. I let her pretend, let her think she was winning. Emma's job interview was set for a Saturday afternoon. I knew because she left the confirmation email open on the family computer. I also knew she didn't want the job to help out like she told my parents. She wanted to work at the same place I did, to spy on me, compete, maybe even try to get me fired. I didn't stop her. I waited that morning. I saw her storming around the kitchen, hair in rollers, complaining that she couldn't find the dress she wanted to wear. Sharon upstairs slammed doors, shouted at to her mom. Classic Emma behavior. I kept eating my cereal, pretending not to notice. But I did something petty. That morning, before she woke up, I had unplugged her car battery. She came outside with 20 minutes left before her interview, hair barely brushed, dress wrinkled. She got in the car, turned that key, nothing. I watched from my window. She panicked, opened the hood, slammed it, called our dad, who was already at work, called Mom, who was inside but didn't know a thing about cars. I waited 5 minutes before strolling outside, sipping a can of soda. "Car won't start?" I asked, acting confused. "No," she snapped it. "Just died. I'm going to miss the interview." That sucks," I said, then shrugged. "Maybe you can ride your bike?" She turned pale. She knew what I was doing. She couldn't say it out loud, but she knew. And I knew. She knew she missed the interview. The next day, I overheard her screaming to her parents again. This time she wasn't holding back. "He always ruins everything, and you let him. You stole from him." Dad shouted back, "You've been lying for months." He embarrassed me. "You embarrassed yourself." Mom tried to mediate, but no one was listening anymore. It all blew open. Right there in the living room. Years of favoritism, lies, backhanded comments, and silent treatment exploded. Like a gas leak finally sparked, and Mia stood in the hallway and watched for aunts. They weren't looking at me like I was the problem. They were too busy, dealing with the storm they helped create. A few months passed. I moved, got a better job in Columbus, rented a small place, and slowly started building the life I wanted. I kept in touch with my parents, barely polite calls. On birthdays, an occasional visit, maybe. Thanksgiving if I felt generous. Emma and I didn't speak, not because I hated her, but because we'd both seen too much of each other's true selves one day. My mom called. She told me Emma dropped out of school, moved in with some guy. None of them liked the car, eventually died for good. My parents were stuck sharing Redditors and regretting choices. You always seem to handle things better. My mom said, just wish we'd seen that sooner. I didn't respond. There wasn't much to say. What's the point in saying I told you so when they're already living the proof? The truth is, I wasn't perfect. I was cold, petty. I could have been kinder, more forgiving. But they raised me to survive, not to play nice. So that's what I did. I survived. I got out, I left the mess behind. And sometimes when I drive through that old town in my newer car windows, down music on, I pass that broken mailbox in front of my childhood house, and I think, I hope she's enjoying that bike.